Alrighty, good evening ladies and gentlemen, this is Harry Muppet. Welcome to the fourth quarterfinals for the Hairy Bash number 5. And we're getting down to our the last of our finalists, the last of our quarterfinalists anyway. Down at the bottom, the leftish side of the map, Mr. KingkOng from South Korea plays for Team Exile 5. And he's had a pretty breezy run in the tournament so far, having just gotten buys for everything, a bunch of walkovers. And yeah, so hasn't had to play a game yet. When I say walkovers, I kind of use it in two different meanings. Sometimes I say walkover as in that person didn't show up, so it was a walkover. And sometimes I say it as in, well, you know, there was a Grandmaster playing a silver player. So it was kind of a walkover because he just demolished him. So I kind of say it in two different ways, and if you didn't think that was a problem, then you know what? I'm giving the thumbs up to the microphone at the moment. Yeah, there it is. It's right in front of there. I don't know if you can hear that, but I'm tapping on the microphone with my thumbs. So that's it. Yeah, so KingkOng hasn't had to play a game. Somebody who has had to play a game, though, Mr. Schnitzel. And I actually got confused about this guy, because there's another guy called Schnitzel who is from Australia and plays for Echo Esports team or something like that, and I thought that was this guy, and I was like, wow, man, how did that guy, you know, get up and, you know, actually start owning all those players? But it turns out it's a different Schnitzel. This guy, yeah. Well, I mean, the other one, I don't know how good the other one is, so I can't say anything about either player at the moment, and I'm kind of talking out my ass about both players at the moment, so just ignore me. You can stop ignoring me now, okay? So there we go. Now, Mr. Schnitzel, he is from the US, plays for Dust Gaming, and he's beaten Dante in the round of 32 and Mighty Kiwi in the round of 16. Although in the round of 16, he did have to go to the ace match to beat Mighty Kiwi, so quite a close game it must have been. A close series of games anyway. So yeah, the Ling's going nuts here. The Reaper has come back. He's going to be having a crack at the Lings. And the Hellion's coming out as well. So KingkOng with some very, very fast DPS in terms of those sprint fast Lings. Fast Lings? I don't know. Is that what we're calling them there? Oh, the Ling's coming around. Looks like they're going to try and get a flank off. Trying to get a flank. They're not quite getting the flank working though. They got the Reaper out though. But they're not quite going to be getting the Hellions. They managed to get through. And now they're in the main base, but they're just all over the place, going to be looking to do some scouting. I think that's the only thing they can really do at this point. Not enough health to really do anything else. These two are going to be hiding over there, but Schnitzel is not fooled. He knows there's a couple of Lings still around there on the map. This one Marine is going to be like, hey buddy, I know you're there. I'm not going to shoot at you yet. I'm just going to stare at you until you until you decide to just give up. And KingkOng's like, yeah, I'm going over here, man. You just keep staring in that general direction. So one Ling survives, which is quite interesting. I don't know how long that guy is going to survive, but the Marine's just like, where are you? I could have sworn there was a Ling around. There you are. He thought he was seeing shadows, but he was actually seeing... Where's my E? Where's my E? He was actually seeing a Ling there, and didn't even realize it. So, yes. We'll see. We've got a ton of Hellions actually coming out here. Quite a ton. That is 8. 8. I thought it was 10 for a second. It's only 8. A bunch of Lings are going to get past the Hellions though. And the Queens are going to be blocking off. They're not blocking off properly, but they're going to be blocking off properly in just a sec. And now the Hellions going in, and I think 8 could probably roast this down. Not super slowly. But the Lings, man, getting right in there. Some of these are attacking the bunker. I'm like, WTF, man, there are workers over there. Go attack them instead. It's a lot more fun. Now he's attacking the supply depot. There is clearly a problem with the priority management on these Lings. They attack the bunker. They attack the supply depot. They don't attack the workers. I mean, seriously. I don't understand that at all. But we do have the third base up. And it looks like KingkOng is ahead by about 10 workers, which is exactly where he needs to be. Any less than that, he would be behind. Any more than that, and he would be in front. And it's very, very hard to keep in front against a good player. So he's exactly where he can be expected to be. So, yes. Both players doing a great job. We got 1-1 coming out. whole bunch of barracks, starport, all the fun stuff that Schnitzel needs to own a Zerg player in a TvZ match. Meanwhile, KingkOng getting a Spire, getting a Baneling Nest, getting 1-1. So both players looking extremely good here. And I do believe Schnitzel was actually a Grand Master according to loading screen, and KingkOng was a Master. But this is the North American server. I'm not sure if KingkOng is on the North American server by default, because he is South Korean, so maybe he plays on the Korean server by default. Although, you'd think if he was playing on multiple servers, he wouldn't be Masters in more than one. Because usually, if you're not on your home server, you're just like in gold or silver, because you don't play that much. So, I'd be inclined to think that North American server is his primary one, because, yeah, I couldn't imagine that any professional players, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I wouldn't imagine even the best in the world would have the energy to actually get into Masters League in more than one server. Because why would you? I mean, you're all about building up your ranking on your main server, just going nuts, all that sort of stuff. Yeah, I don't know. I could be wrong though. KingkOng could be Masters in one and Grandmaster in the other, but yeah, it's interesting. Whole bunch of Banelings waiting for the Hellions to come back. They're seeing them. They're moving out in multiple different directions. Get a sweet surround there. Schnitzel forced to lift off and run the hell out of there. But meanwhile, the whole bunch of Lings coming in here, dropping all over the place. And KingkOng doing a pretty good job, but is forced to get the hell out of there eventually. But the creep slowly moving across the map, doing an exceptional job here. And he's starting to look pretty good. Income-wise, he's 67 over 69, so that's not exactly where KingkOng wants to be. Schnitzel can build a ton of stuff of 69, but he is taking quite a few hits here. KingkOng definitely spending a lot and definitely doing a lot of damage. The bunker looks like it's going to go down. No signs of repair from Mr. Schnitzel there, so a bit unfortunate. The Lings take out the bunker, but not quite able to take anything else. Does this Marauder look like... Oh, it's got a star on its shoulder. That's why it looks fancy, because it's got that bloody star there. I almost thought it was like a collector's edition Marauder or something like that. I'm like, what? But no, it is just the star on the shoulders. And just sweeping up the creep everywhere here. Doing a great job. How many mutas do we have? We've got 11, and he has lost 0 so far, so that's pretty nice. The muta's almost coming in here. They're running away with the Lings attacking them. Bunch of Widow Mines doing a pretty good job though. And yes, both players just sort of getting the hell out of there. Deciding that, you know, it was not going to work out for either player. But still, KingkOng moving out with a vengeance. And it's actually surprising that this base came out before this one, because, yeah, this base is a lot closer to the Zerg base. A lot harder to defend. But then again, if you want a good staging point and then take this as an easy expansion later on, then yeah, it's not a bad option. Well, what's he doing here? Is he going to sneak in the side? Is he? He sent one Ling in there. It's like, yeah, the door's open. Come on in, guys. It's all good. But it looks like he may be going for it. There he goes. Gets all of the Lings in. The Banelings rolling on in after. And yes, looks like a ton of damage is going to be happening here. All the mutas going nuts. Meanwhile, a nice attack here. Not a huge attack though. And reinforcements are going to be taking these guys out. But Widow Mines right in the middle of the line. Oh man, Schnitzel, a very, very beautiful option there to land the Widow Mines in the dirt right next to a bunch of workers mining. Did not manage to get him in there. Too busy looking after this stuff. So opportunity missed right there. And he's still having a lot of problems dealing with these guys. The mutas going nuts. Most of the ground units have been destroyed though. But the mutas are still doing a pretty good job. Only one of them has died so far. Thanks to this Overseer, I think they've taken out most of the Widow Mines before they became a problem. And now they're just destroying the reinforcements as they come out. They've got most of the workers so far. Schnitzel actually down to 35 under 77. So this attack really doing an insane amount of damage. Finally the main army coming back. And KingkOng just getting out of there. Meanwhile sending a bunch of units in here. Just absolutely destroying this. And the workers are a little bit slow to get out of there. And half of them do go down. And that is it, man. Those two attacks right there just absolutely wasted Schnitzel. I mean, yeah. I guess there's 99% good micro, and then there's 100% good micro. And Schnitzel had some, he had some pretty good micro. I don't know if he definitely wasn't at 100%. I don't know if he was at 99%, but KingkOng was either at 99% or 100%, man. He was right on top of it, and just doing some fantastic attacks all over the place. And yeah, did a great job. Schnitzel, I don't think Schnitzel's macro let him down. I think his macro was beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. In fact, he was beating KingkOng's worker numbers at one point. But yeah, just the micro, man. The micro from KingkOng was fabulous when he went into Schnitzel's base. And it really, really, really showed. And that's it. KingkOng taking out the first game. And it's going to be down to Schnitzel, our only US participant still in this game, to see what he can do in game number 2. And he definitely has to uphold the proud US Dust Gaming name because, of course, his compatriot, Mr. SWS in the Hairy Bash 4, got all the way up to taking 3rd place. Just completely came out of nowhere. I was like, who the hell is this guy? Some guy from the US. And he ended up taking 3rd place. I'm like, wow, this guy's actually pretty good. So, yes, Mr. Schnitzel needs to step it up if he wants to make it into the semi-finals. We'll see. I mean, we've already got a Protoss, Terran, and Zerg in there, so hey, it could be anybody at this point. Not too fast, but we will see. Game number 2 coming up in just a sec. Alrighty, we are back. We are having a go. It is Mr. KingkOng down the bottom left side of the map versus Schnitzel up the top right side of the map. Go it off again. KingkOng took out the victory last game with some very, very nice micro. But Schnitzel, man, not a walkover by any stretch of the imagination. Yes, so I didn't know who he was before this tournament started. I know who he is now, and he is an awesome player, but regardless, KingkOng, some fantastic attacks in the first game, and did just demolish like a million workers. Man, Schnitzel he lost half his workers, and then on top of that, a bunch of Banelings just rolled into the 3rd base and killed a bunch more workers. And after that, he just said, GG, man, it's just too much. And that was it. So we'll see exactly what Schnitzel can do in this game to sort of turn it around, because he definitely needs to turn it around against KingkOng. And if not, yeah, it's going to be Petraeus versus KingkOng in the semi-finals, and that is going to be epic, man. Wow, let's have a look here. The Lings are already getting into it, man. They're already getting up close and personal with Schnitzel's base. And yeah, we saw this previous game as well, a little bit later in the previous game. This is exceptionally early for Mr. KingkOng getting right in there, but did do a pretty good job. Well, I say that, he didn't actually kill anything, but he scouted out the fact that KingkOng wasn't going for a fast 3rd base or anything stupid like that at the 5-minute mark. And what can you scout at the 5-minute mark? Really is, for a Terran perspective, I don't know. Maybe you see 3 barracks, you're like, oh, he's got 3 barracks, man. Double gas, I think, is probably the most you can scout. If you see a barracks with a factory coming up and you see double gas, then you can probably say, alright, Banshees are a strong possibility at this juncture. And then you can start getting support crawlers. That's probably about all you can scout. Yeah, I think so. Not much else, really. Not much else. So anyway, KingkOng, tons of workers coming out early on. Going to take that nice early worker lead that all Zerg players love to get. He's going to push out really, really early. But of course, Schnitzel is going to really turn on the gas. Now that he's got the expansion, maybe getting a 3rd base out, probably not. Just getting a bunch of Hellions out and a bunch of Reapers as well. Got to push in, going to do some pressure. Going to see how he goes. It's going to be interesting, but no 3rd base coming out of Mr. KingkOng yet, which is interesting. He's going for 1-1 already, which is interesting. Is a Roach Warren on the way very soon? That is a question we should be asking ourselves. The Queens are quite far out there. Did they actually kill something? No, I don't think they did. But, oh well. Oh, and the Viking. Beautiful. And there's the Roach Warren coming out. So, this is obviously some cleverly planned timing attack. where a whole bunch of roaches comes out at some point, probably when they're about to get level 1 weapons and armor, and just starts demolishing everything. So, I don't know if I've actually seen this sort of play in Masters level versus Terran before. I can't remember seeing it at any point. Usually versus Terran, it's all about getting the mutiling out there, but it does look like he's going for some sort of roach-based timing attack with the upgrades sort of in sync here. So we will see how that goes. There we go. First bunch of roaches coming out, bunch of overlords coming out as well. It is going to be quite insane here. The Hellions and the Reapers getting in close. Oh, don't you long for those days when the Reapers actually did damage to buildings instead of just sort of spitting on the side of them and hoping that eventually the building would melt away. 2 queens, apparently enough to scare these guys away. Well, 1 Hellion is very, very close to death, so I can sort of understand that. But the Viking continuing to go around here, continuing to smash things all over the place. And we do have an armory as well, which is interesting. What the hell is he thinking of doing with an armory this early on? I don't know. Hellbats, maybe? Thor's straight up upgrades for his Vikings? Yeah, who knows? Who knows? I would say weapons upgrades probably be my guess. Do these guys have pre-igniter? No. They just looked funny for a sec. I don't know why. But anyway. Here we go. We've got a whole bunch of stuff coming out. A whole bunch of Hellions. And Medevacs, Marines, Vikings, all that fun stuff. Meanwhile, we've got 22 roaches. Wow. 20, well, that's quite a decent amount of roaches, man. And the upgrades are up. He's now going for level 2. And KingkOng is looking like he's going to be laying the smackdown here. There's nothing that's really all that good against roaches. Hellbats could hold their own, but they're definitely not a counter. He needs Marauders at this point. And he's actually splitting off a small group of roaches here. No, there we go. There's the main force coming around the backside. And Schnitzel is just like, WTF, dude. This is not cool at all. And yeah, actually roasting all of these roaches here. But the ones coming around the back, doing a fantastic job. Finally getting the hell out of there. Manages to save 3 Hellbats and a couple of Marauders. But they can just see the roaches moving over to the other base. And 16 more are being produced. And Schnitzel is obviously completely unprepared for the massive, massive roach timing push here. And actually morphing in an orbital. I'm not sure how that was going to help, but he's going for it anyway. The roaches are just bludgeoning their way in. A single Widow Mine is not going to be enough to stop this. And there they go, moving on in. The workers coming around, going to be having a crack. I don't think it's going to help. He needs Marauders. He needs a ton of them. And it's just not going to happen. There we go. Schnitzel giving the GG. Utterly unmanned by that roach push. That beautifully timed roach push right there. And you can see 2-2 was about to happen in like less than a minute. Maybe a minute. Something like that. But that was going to be... Oh, it's such a beastly timing play. I can't believe that he was just about to get level 2 at the 12-minute mark, man. That is absolutely insane. All those upgrades, level 1 started so insanely early. It's like the earliest I've ever seen people getting upgrades. That was how fast they were, man. And that timing play really, really paid off, man. If you want to screw with people, you need to watch this replay again and again and again to learn that timing play, because that thing is deadly. Absolutely insanely deadly, that roach timing push with the upgrades. Oh, man. Alright, that's it. KingkOng absolutely wiping the floor that game, man. Schnitzel did not know what hit him. And KingkOng into the semi-finals, facing off against Betrayus. But first of all, in our semi-finals coming up, it will be Spear and Arthur to see who is the best non-Zerg player in this tournament. So, yeah, look forward to that coming up in a few days. And I do hope you enjoy this game, and I do hope you enjoy those games. And I will see you guys when I see you. Remember, back in the very first quarterfinal, I said, oh, it could be Spear and Arthur and Betrayus and KingkOng all in the semi-finals. And it turned out it was. And yeah, looking at the list, I thought that was pretty likely. But that was back when I thought that Schnitzel was the other Schnitzel, which I thought, KingkOng would kind of own, well, not own, but I thought there's good and there's great and then there's fantastic, and KingkOng is fantastic. So there we go. That's it. Done. But I didn't realize it was this Schnitzel from the US who's like Dust Gaming, So he's awesome as well. But oh man, KingkOng definitely took his number out. Learn that play, man. Fast roaches off 2 bases, man. Did you see he had like 15, 20 roaches moving out across the map, and he was building 20 more at the same time. It's insane. All right, that's it. Game done. I'm moving on. Thank you very much for watching this game. I hope you enjoyed it. And yeah, I will catch you guys in a few days with the semi-finals, starting with Spear versus Arthur. Stay tuned.